We're live now with Dylan Ferguson of the Vegas Golden Knights organization, goaltender. Thank you for coming on the pod, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it's a great opportunity to be on here. I'm happy about it.
Yeah, man. So it's funny. I kind of had you earmarked as one of those guys that I'd reach out to at some point to have on the podcast because we played a bit of puck when we were younger. You were still 500 steps ahead of me, even at a younger age. But tell us a bit about what the journey's been like going through the Vegas Golden Knights organization now.
Oh yeah, it's been crazy. Obviously, to be in a Boston Pizza at 10 p.m. at night in New York at 6 a.m. the next day is, that doesn't happen to a lot of people. So, and then even before that, just the trade, I never expected to get drafted by Dallas, and then the trade, and just how fast everything happened. Really, it was a whirlwind, and it takes a while to catch up to you for sure.
Yeah, so let's back up. Let's give the listeners a little context. So you were drafted by the Dallas Stars, traded shortly thereafter to Vegas for Marc Methot, second-round pick, and you basically got thrown into this Vegas Golden Knights organization. And then a couple months later, Subban goes down, Fleury goes down, and then you get the call at 10 o'clock, Boston Pizza, you're chilling, and then you're on a flight to MSG to back up in an NHL game at 19 years old. How did that feel?
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. Like we won a game that night in Kamloops, and we just thought we'd go and have a couple beers, watch the game at Boston Pizza after. It was like an afternoon game. So I wasn't driving actually, and I had to get my billet dad to come grab me after the game. And I was watching the Vegas game. I saw Oscar Dance go down, and I'm like, okay, like I'm next in line. Like I know this. So literally 30 seconds after that happened, my phone starts buzzing. And it's Kelly McCrimmon calling me saying that you're on a red-eye flight to New York tonight. And I was like, it all happened so fast. I didn't sleep that night. I was up the whole night. And the next day I was backing up on the same ice as Henrik Lundqvist.
That's freaking insane. A guy that you've probably looked up to for the past decade, and now you're, sitting 100 feet across from him and warming up on that same ice.
Yeah, like he was a Golden Net guy too. Like growing up, he went to all the Golden Net stuff and worked with the same guy I did, and it was crazy. Like, it's still surreal to this day, but it's definitely motivation to get back there too.
Shout out to Perry Elderbroom from Golden Net.
Yeah,
there you go. That's where we actually met, over on the island, and you're from the island. So give us a bit of background as to what it was like growing up on the island. Is there slightly less exposure for hockey players over there?
Yeah, I mean, the island definitely loves its politics, especially with hockey. So like I felt like I could be playing at a higher level than I was at a young age. And so that it was really up to Burnaby Winter Club in Notre Dame. And Notre Dame's in a town of 300 people in Wilcox, Saskatchewan. And for some reason, I wanted to go there. So I made that decision, and I spent there 3 years. And so I think the exposure on the island it's tough. Like you gotta make moves for yourself. And I know a few guys that have.
Yeah, like the Vancouver Island has the VIJHL. It's where guys like Jamie Benn played. Obviously, he made it to the NHL, but getting off that island, especially nowadays, is important to gain as much as exposure as possible. But now they got some other good programs in there. They've got that young Bantam AAA, whatever they're calling that league now. I know some guys that are playing in that. That's pretty cool. So it's good opportunities. How was your past couple of years here? I know you weren't thrilled with your stats, and we were going to avoid talking about that, but how does it feel, going through? You're still a young goaltender. People don't expect anything from goalies until they're 23, 24, 25, right?
Yeah, the crazy thing is they do, though, and especially in the coast. So I had to deal with that. I got sick. I got pretty sick halfway throughout the year, and I was out for 2 months. Really just couldn't play, and it was hard to come back from that. And I struggled, and then I started playing well. I won 6 of my last 7 games, and then our season ended. And yeah, so it's tough. But when I got the chance in the AHL, I played well. I played really well. I think I only played 2 games against Milwaukee, and I think I ended with like a 940 something save percentage. So
Yeah, and that was with the Fort Wayne Komets, right? You got
That
two
was with the
games.
Wolves. That was with the Wolves.
Oh, sorry, Chicago Wolves, two
Yeah.
games, two dubs, and
Yeah.
then the E was Fort Wayne,
Yeah. The
6
E
straight games.
was, I had a tougher time in the coast. Just, there's a lot of call up and downs at the start of the year. And then again, like I said, I got sick and it was just hard to rebound from.
Yeah, but they're I was listening to Spit and Chicklets. They talk about the guys that are going in through the E, through the A, and then up to the NHL. One of the things, especially for goaltenders, that you got to deal with is maybe not as good of defensive play from those guys in the E and the A that you're used to at that NHL level. And that's no knock on those players, but it's just a different caliber of hockey, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's an offensive league for sure. And I think like I knew, because I went into games and like stood on my head and I knew I could do it, but and then I had health problems I had to deal with, and it wasn't that um I wasn't good enough for that league, because like I knew I could get the job done. It was more of just finding that rhythm, and it was really hard for me to do because I hardly played. I think I played 16 games last year or something, and that's
Right.
just like, brutal. I played 59 the year before.
Yeah, and that was with the Blazers, right?
Yeah.
And how tell us a bit about what it was like playing in Kamloops in front of that Blazers organization. I know they got an
Kamloops was
unreal
awesome,
fan
man.
base.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. They have a good diversity in fans. You got like the 80-year-olds with their headsets in, listening to the game while they're there, and then you got like the university kids that come over from TRU and they go crazy. And that was a great atmosphere to be in. I loved all 4 years there. I stayed all 4 years there, and I think I learned a lot from that city.
Yeah, I'm jealous of that opportunity playing at that junior level. It would be a fun, and you guys had a good squad there too as well. Like you guys had some good teams going through those 2015 to 2018, 2019 you were there.
Yeah, we had one year that was tough. We didn't make the playoffs, but their last year that they were having, I think they were going to win the Memorial Cup. The year before that, when I was there, we were good. We lost in the first round of playoffs, but we were a good team. But this year, I feel bad for them. I still know so many guys in that team. A lot of them are like brothers to me, and yeah, I mean they were a Memorial Cup contender this year, and it got cut off early for them.
Damn quarantine. How's quarantine been treating you? I know it's a shitty situation for everyone in sports right now, and the world, that is, for that matter. But how have you been trying to stay sharp?
I've been doing some concentration workouts, obviously, with Pete Fry. He's a goalie mindset guy that's been working with goalies at every level, really. And I do that. I do my at-home workouts, like push-ups, all the body stuff. I don't have a gym. I'm just in an apartment here. And then I went on a run yesterday, and yeah, I'm sore. I'm sore. So my body's feeling it. It's been a while, but no, I'm trying to do the right things to stay fit.
And has like the organization, for instance, been giving you guys any kind of insight as to what's going on? Have they got any more knowledge than we do right now?
I I haven't heard anything. It's hockey. It's a weird world right now. Like I don't hear from my agents. I don't hear from anyone. And like it's what are they supposed to say? Like
Yeah.
no one really knows what's going on. And I think that's the scariest part, is the unknown. So everyone's just kind of waiting for an answer from the upper people, I guess you could say. And it's going to come down the grapevine hopefully soon here.
Yeah, it'll be news for everyone for sure once we find out what's really going on. I want to talk a bit about your first. You started the first game in Vegas Golden Knights team history, exhibition game against Vancouver. Big dub against your home squad. 29 of 33 you saved in a 9-4 win. How did it feel to step on Rogers Arena there?
I like it. Even just now, I got chills thinking about it. Like, I miss hockey, man. Like, I know I'm not the only one, but I miss it. And that game, it was a lot of fun. I was playing a lot of guys I knew. There were some guys in Vancouver I knew. I obviously knew a lot of guys on Vegas. And to be playing against Thatcher Demko, that was really cool. He was actually, shout out to him, he was a guy that helped me make my decision to go to the WHL, and someone I reached out to when I was trying to figure out the junior and NCAA route. Because yeah, I just didn't know what to do, and I knew he was a guy that was signed with Spokane and then went to college, so I wanted to know why, and he was awesome about it. So but yeah, sorry, I got off track. Going back to that game.
No, let's go into that. What was I'm curious, what was that decision process like? What went into it?
So man, this was probably in 2014.
Yeah, it's a
And
while ago.
I DM'd Thatcher on Facebook, and I said, hey man, like I'm a young kid trying to figure out what I should do. And he really talked about how it's all a maturity thing. And do you think that, so he said like for the WHL and like the CHL, it's like if you feel like you're ready to play at a very high competitive level at the young age you are right now, or if you think you need 3 or 4 more years to develop even more and then go play college and get a degree. And that was the short version. He sent me probably like a 300-word paragraph in a reply. And, you know, it was cool. And I still appreciate it to this day. Like, I think I messaged him when I got drafted, actually, and I said, hey, man, like, I just want to thank you because, you know, like, you were a big impact in my choice to go to the WHL, and it's worked out for me. And, yeah, it was really cool to play him in that game.
Yeah, and so someone obviously who really stuck out, and that's unique for people to, you know, get back to you as a young goalie. You know, you're not expecting the NHL guy to reply, or at that time, I guess.
I had Roberto Luongo reply to me when I congratulated him, because another story, when I was 13, I was the 6th player on the ice for the Canucks.
Yeah, I remember seeing that photo. That's a sick photo.
Yeah, and Luongo was there, so I said, hey man, like, not sure if you remember, I was one of the 6 men, like, congrats on such a great career and congrats on your retirement. And he replied within a minute. It was
Jeez.
like, yeah, I was like, whoa. So it's cool, man. It's been cool.
It was funny because when I was talking with a couple of buddies, letting them know that I was going to have you on, kind of humble brag, no big deal. And it's funny because what we were 12, 13 when we were playing at Gold in the Net.
Yeah, we were young.
And I think you had finished the season, you were like 42, 2-3 or some ridiculous stats. And everyone, like the 12 goalies that were on the ice with me, we're all like, holy shit, this guy's over there training one-on-one with Perry. Everyone knew you're marked to go somewhere. But it's cool to see the evolution of your career and the way you've actually been able to put it together and get drafted. And now you're competing at, you know, the highest level of hockey. So kudos to you for that. But we did cut you off there. Tell us about that Canucks win in Vancouver, getting that W for yourself.
Yeah. You know, I was born in Vancouver. I got a pretty shitty tattoo on my arm of the skyline there. And
nice.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. But no, it was great. I remember everything leading up to it, like walking out of the tunnel, Rogers Place, and just like looking around and seeing, like, I'm like, okay, I've been in the stands here so many times and now I'm on the ice playing against the Canucks. And it's, you know, you just kind of, for me, I just kind of blacked out and played, honestly, at that point. Like, I don't remember too much in the game. I remember making like 2 saves. And yeah, that's just the way it goes for me sometimes with stuff like that. It's tough to remember.
Yeah, that's all right. That's what instant replay and camera video is for, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You also got the first win in franchise history in that LA Kings rookie camp. So you got a couple little Vegas Golden Knights feathers in your cap. It'll be it'll be nice when you get that first win with the organization at the regular season level.
Oh yeah. That's hopefully coming in the next couple of years here.
There you go. I like it. But so, you know, saying that, you've been able to sort of watch a guy like Fleury still blossom, no pun intended, in at the NHL level and still perform. What is it like when you see a guy like that, how he attacks the game?
He has so much fun with it. It's crazy. Like, he's a prankster. Like, I don't even know if I'm supposed to say this, but like when I got called up, I was his target. Like, he wanted to make sure that I knew I was a rookie and I was there. And it was awesome. Like, I'd come off the ice and my suit would be tied in a tape ball. Stuff like that, or my gear would be missing, or my skates laces would be taken out. So yeah, he's a great guy. He works so hard every time he's on the ice. You know, he's a really good listener, and he's a great guy. Like, he came up to me and introduced himself, and I was starstruck, obviously, like this future Hall of Fame goalie in the NHL. And I just got called up and I'm talking to him. And you know, he's a great guy. He's a great role model, and he really puts everyone else in front of him and just has a great time with the team.
He's a unique goalie in the sense that a lot of guys tend to be sort of quieter, don't say a lot on the ice when they're stopping pucks, but he is, like, you can see him through his mask laughing, chirping guys 24/7 the whole time. Is that something you've sort of taken from him and use on the ice occasionally now?
I've kind of always been like that actually, where
Yeah.
but I don't get there until I feel good in a game.
Mm.
It's like I'm a little like on edge, like, oh, if I say something now and then get lit up for the rest of the game, it looks bad. So I wait till like I'm kind of like I know that I'm gonna play well, kind of thing. But no, he loves doing, like, I remember, I think it was I can't remember who it was. He was on the Kings and like he flicked his ear in the playoffs. Like in the playoffs, he's doing that kind of stuff, and it's like, what? So he's an awesome guy to watch, and he has the most fun with it I've ever seen. Honestly, he's just, yeah, he's a great guy and a great goalie.
Yeah, pretty ideal guy to learn from, and then hopefully you can follow suit shortly after. So your one NHL time you did actually get on the ice, you get thrown into a game against Edmonton. You stop 1 of 2, better than none of 2, right?
Yeah.
How are those first 9 minutes in the NHL?
It was a nasty goal too. Like, it wasn't a bad goal. It was good.
Yeah, we'll throw it up on YouTube to make sure everyone knows.
Yeah.
It was disgusting.
Yeah, it was a gross play.
I was reading the report. It was the guy's like, man, he had no chance anyways. So
yeah,
don't worry, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, it was awesome. You know, I remember the first save so clearly, actually, and I'm surprised I do. One D-man passed it down to Patty Maroon in the right corner, and he starts skating out, comes off the goal line, pulls out, goes backhand. I like came across, made a save with my elbow, and he just runs me over, like destroys me. Like, and McDavid comes in and like taps it. I get it. I'm like on my ass at this point. It like hits my pad or something, and then he taps it in for his hat trick, and the ref comes over and starts waving it off. Because I got like obliterated. Like Patty Maroon, he's a big guy. I'm a 19-year-old kid in the net. So it got waved off, and Connor kind of gave me a tap on the pads because it just took away his hat trick goal, or the ref did. And you know, yeah, that's something I'm never gonna forget, and it motivates me, like especially in times like this where I'm not playing. It's those kind of things that I think about. I'm not thinking about last year. I'm thinking about moving forward and the good things that have happened, and just waiting for those to repeat themselves.
Yeah, that's the right mindset to have. It's obviously Pete Fry's got that instilled in you. He was the 24th episode on the Athletes Podcast for those who are interested. So tell me about what the players are like in the dressing room for you as a 19-year-old coming in. Obviously, Fleury, you said, was the prankster, but were the other guys pretty helpful as far as when you came into MSG, coming into Edmonton, and those couple NHL experiences?
You know, me and James Neal became pretty good buddies, actually.
Nice.
Yeah, he was a guy that had my back. There's stories for off the air, I could say, but
we'll talk about those after then.
Yeah, we'll talk about those later. But he was a great guy. He always joked around. He had my back, and I think that really just, like, there was no one on that team that was rude to me, honestly. Like, they were all such good guys, and you know, I was going in there as this quiet kid, just trying to work hard and work my ass off every time I got a chance to get on the ice with them. And yeah, he was great. All the guys were great. I was with Max Lagacé, who was in Providence the last year. He re-signed there with Boston, but he was a great guy. Like, we used to go shopping like a day before a game and just like chill out in a mall, and then he'd go and play a great game the next day in the NHL. It was just surreal, man. And they were all so nice, and I'm so grateful for it.
It's kind of interesting when you from a goaltender's perspective, we play minor hockey, junior hockey, the different levels, but then to get to that next level of being a professional goalie, what's that mental aspect like that you're working towards continuing on a day-to-day basis? Other than Pete, what are you doing from a mental side to make sure that you're, you know, as strong as possible?
I think that is a thing, is being able to continue it on a day-to-day basis. It's I think confidence is the biggest thing. Like, for me, it was tough to get that confidence in the last season because I couldn't get in a rhythm, like I was saying. And I know it's there for me. I've had it. You know, I've gone on these streaks where I feel almost invincible. And, you know, I miss that. So that's something that, like, I hold on to. And I say, you know, I know I'm going to get back there. And whenever this comes up, I know I'm going to be better than I was when this started. And so, you know, I'm just really trying to stay focused on the positives moving forward every day.
Do you have other goalies that you reach out to, sort of chat with? I know you're buddies with Sparks. You're buddies with you're in that goalie gear, Sluts United on Facebook group chat that I'll be posting this podcast in. But are there any other guys that you sort of talk to, bounce ideas off of, stay in touch with?
Yeah, Subban and Sparks are two of my real good buddies. I get along with Oscar Dance. I wouldn't say we're good friends, but he's a good buddy. Sparks is he's a buddy that I hung out with quite a bit. I know he's got some bad rep in some places, but he's a good guy. He works hard, and he likes to have fun as well. And Subban's the same way. All three of us went shopping in Vegas the one night there in camp, and it was one of the best nights I've had, and other than playing hockey with these guys. And they're all just guys that just want to have fun and play the game they love, and it's really crazy to see and be a part of.
What was on the shopping list? What'd you get?
I didn't get anything.
First of all, you're probably working with a slightly different budget than these guys are.
Yeah.
Let's clarify. Entry-level contract versus a couple of years worth in the NBA.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you what they got, but they put their cards down. A Versace robe might have been in the mix.
Nice. There we go. So man, it's cool. It's cool hearing what these guys are like, and it's actually interesting because it's one of the things that people who aren't athletes or who aren't playing at that professional level, they idolize these humans like they're gods, when in reality they're just boys or girls, ladies I should say, that are just trying to, they're playing the sport that they love and they get the opportunity to do it, right? It's refreshing to hear from a guy that's in those shoes, right?
Like, I can't believe how humble these guys are. It's, like in Vegas, they have every practice was sold out. Like in their practice facility, they sell out, man. Like it's crazy. And they, like every time someone steps on the ice, the whole crowd cheers, and it's such a surreal atmosphere. And they wait for us outside. So like they have like the players like parking, and then like they're all waving and everything and like saying goodbye, and all the players are honking their horns. Like it's the fan base and how the team gets along with the city is just, it's so crazy, and it's so cool to see. And they really run the town.
So what was it? I'm curious. You get drafted by Dallas, and then you sort of right shortly thereafter traded. What was that kind of whirlwind experience like? Because Dallas isn't necessarily a huge hockey town. Vegas being a brand new organization, what was your initial impressions going into it?
I got to tell you the story of how I found out first.
Yeah, you do.
So when I got drafted by Dallas, like I can't remember what I was ranked going into the draft, but like it passed like the 6th round, and I was like, okay, like I'm not getting drafted.
Really? You didn't think so?
I didn't think I thought I was. I think I was projected to go in like the 4th round, and then it just didn't happen, and I just kept watching, and it just kept getting worse. And I remember like standing up, and I was like this sucks. Like I started to walk outside, and like as soon as I about to close the door, I heard my dad screaming, and it was like I can't remember what I went. I think it was like 190 something.
What do I have it here? Oh man, maybe I don't have it here.
I think it's 197.
Yeah. 194.
194. Okay, it's
better. There you go.
That's fine. Yeah, like I remember that, and then so I'm like, okay, I had a week. Their camp didn't start for another week, so I texted a couple of my buddies. I'm like, hey, we're going fishing. Like, we're going up island, and we're gonna go like salmon fishing. So we're getting this all set up. There's me and like 3 or 4 of my buddies in Cabela's, and my phone starts ringing. That's the next day. Oh, maybe 2 days. 2 days after. So I'm in Cabela's, and I'm getting my stuff to go on this day fishing trip. And my phone starts ringing. It's like a number from Dallas, Texas. So I'm like, okay, like I didn't know who it was. Like, and I thought honestly, like we were talking with my buddies, like I thought I was gonna go to Vegas. Like I really did, because I had a lot of communications with them, and none with Dallas, not any. I didn't talk to them. So when I answered the phone, they're like, hey, this is, I think it's Jim Nell. Yeah, Jim Nell, the owner of the Stars, and said, hey Dylan, this is Jim Nell. I just wanted to congratulate you. I got some good news and bad news, so it could be good news. And I'm like, okay, like what's going on? So he starts off with like, yeah, I just wanted to congratulate you on the draft. Like we were happy we could have picked you. And then he goes, we've traded you to the Las Vegas Golden Knights, and you will get a call from them soon. And I thought it was one of my buddies. So I said something that I shouldn't have said. But he started laughing, and I like, it was silent for like 5 seconds, and like and 5 second silence on a phone call is a long time, man. Like,
yeah, your heart was beating.
Yeah, I was shaking, And I'm so sorry. Like, I was telling the story, and he was a good guy about it. But yeah, I mean, I missed the first day of Vegas training camp because they
You were
started.
fishing. Yeah, had to get a couple of 40-pounders.
No, they started camp the day after the draft. So they flew guys out. They flew guys out like right after.
Wow.
Because they wanted to see what guys were training before, and didn't want to give them time to get in shape before. So
damn, that's intense. Talking about a new organization, setting the tone.
I missed the first day of fitness testing, so I only had to do half of it. So I was kind of grateful about that. But yeah, it was crazy. I remember they didn't have even a practice rink set up. We were in like this tiny little rink, and we had to warm out outside. And I remember it was like 42 degrees out, like Celsius. Like, it was hot, man. And like, I was sweating more than I did in the game, I think. And it was awesome. Had a great time. And then, to sign out of that camp, they drafted 2 other guys, and for me to be signed, it was crazy. I was on the top of the world after that camp. I felt great. And, I didn't carry it to Kamloops well.
Okay.
But I did pick it up after going 0-8 to start the season.
So was that what came from that? Was that just going from NHL caliber shooters down to like WHL? It's because that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize is goalies. Yeah. If you play a high level and then go back down to a more mediocre, the shots are different, coming in quicker.
It's way different. And I've always seen myself as a goalie that likes to rise to the occasion. Yeah. And it was so new for me this year. I think I went up and down 5 times. And so I'd get used to that and then get sent right back and be put in a game the next day. And I'm like, well, shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that had a lot to do with it. And back then they were trying to change my game a little bit. They wanted me to be more like aggressive and keep my patience, where during that whole year, I was such an athletic guy, like just try and slide back, be like Jonathan Quick. And, so I was trying to implement that. And when I figured it out, I got it going. But, yeah, there's always new things you have to learn.
Is there a guy that you try and emulate your game somewhere similar to, or are they trying to get you to look like a certain guy? Obviously, at 6'1", you're not the biggest goalie. You're not in a Vasilevsky that's going to fill the whole net every single time. But
a little closer to 6'2", a little bit.
Okay, I like it. 6'1's what they had on there. We'll bump it up to 6'2".
Yeah.
I'll put a complaint in. I'll put a complaint in NHL.com.
Do it. They're lying.
So Ben Jones is a guy that got drafted to the Vegas Golden Knights organization as well. I got to see him in the Ice Dogs uniform play. Those younger guys that you sort of got drafted into the organization with, are you got a good group there that very cohesive?
Yeah. Jonesy's a great guy. I get along with all the guys out of my draft year, really. And, we're a close group. I've bought a few shirts off Jonesy through the days. And that guy loves his clothes. It's crazy. He's got like a whole room just committed to his clothes.
Really?
Yeah, it's that guy. That guy loves clothes. Yeah, I mean, they're all like, I don't know, like Vegas has a really good scouting group where everyone just seems like a good guy and everyone just kind of gets along with everyone, and there's no one being a dick or anything like that. So it's, yeah, I'm happy where I am, and I think a lot of other guys are too.
Yeah, it's good to hear, because some guys don't have that same first couple of years experience in the show, and going through it's not always rainbows and daisies, right? Another guy you played with, Dillon Dubé, you played with him in Notre Dame and Kelowna. What's that guy like now? He's spent a couple of years with Calgary. Got some good stories with him? Yeah, no,
Dubes is a great guy. He was always the clown at Notre Dame. Like everyone loved him. He's a good guy. I spent a couple of weeks with him at his house in Cochrane. Can't remember when. I want to say it was over Christmas break at Notre Dame. Yeah, we've been buddies for a while. I snapped him last night after I heard about he was going to be asked about today on this podcast, and if there's anything I wanted him to say. But no, he more commented about how he's growing out his hair and beard all quarantine.
Yeah, I'm actually curious who's we better see some good pictures from athletes as far as who's getting the best quarantine beard going.
Yeah, his is pretty crazy. He's been able to grow a beard since he was 12, I think. So
I'm jealous. I'm still working on it.
Yeah, no, me too. But no, he's a good guy, and he's always been such a hard worker, man. Like he's always just dedicated to so dedicated to himself and just getting better every day. And to be able to play with guys like that and play against him when he was in Kelowna, that was just a whole nother thing. The guy had my number all the time. I hated it. But
So
yeah.
are you, when you're going through games like that, and WHL will sort of keep it to that when you were going through, but you play against similar guys or guys for multiple games. Do you kind of get an idea of what certain guys will shoot, where they'll shoot, their tendencies? Is that something that you look at? Are you watching footage all the time, or are you more of a guy that likes to just react?
Yeah, I like footage. I like, especially like when you're playing 59 games, it's way easier. Like we played Kelowna 10 times. Like
Yeah.
you get used to the guys on their team and what they like to do. I remember when Cole Lind was on Kelowna, this guy, he had my number more than Dubes. He would score on me every game we played. And he was like, he's my buddy. Like we get along. And there was just like, he'd get like 4 shots a game and 3 of them I'd have to make a good save. And then like, he'd just score and it like wouldn't matter. And, I remember a game where I almost had a shutout against him. There was like 1:30 left and he scores. And he was just like that guy that just like wouldn't let me do it in the WHL. And I think he had my number more than anyone else.
So did you shoot him a text after every game, be like, "Hey man, you're hurting my draft stock. They fuck off."
We did talk a couple times. I got him on. We talked on Xbox a couple times too. I've played Fort with them a few times.
All right, what's Xbox? What's your game right now? Are you Fortnite? Are you playing? Are you on Call of Duty right now? What's
kind of both? Honestly, I'm kind of in a mix. Like I used to be a big Fort guy, and I can't play it for that long anymore. Like it just hurts my head.
Yeah.
But no, I like Call of Duty. I like playing. I like NHL. I like NBA. I've been playing Titanfall, which I know it's a pretty fun game actually. I don't mind it at all. But yeah, it's been a lot of diversity in the gaming part of this household.
Yeah, we got to find things to keep us busy during quarantine. You can go on a bi-monthly run, but that's only going to keep you busy for so long, right?
Yeah.
You got to recover for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel right now.
So what's the goal then for Dylan Ferguson moving forward? Are you obviously up in the air right now as far as when hockey returns, but sort of 5-10 year goal? Are you aiming to try and crack that AHL roster then next year or whenever play resumes, and then move on there forward?
Yeah, I mean my goal and like my vision for me is I want to be on that AHL team next year. They moved it to Henderson. It's a great spot to be. You're right beside the team that I think if I got some games next year in the AHL, I could potentially get a couple in the NHL too. Like it's how I feel about myself. And again last year, like I can't let it affect me. And I know it doesn't look good, and I'm going to do everything I can to show them that I am that guy that can do it. And I know I can. I think they know I can. I had a tough year, but for me, I do see myself playing in the NHL within the next 5 years. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And I have no doubt that you will be. Being sick and can take a huge toll on someone's career and the way that they're playing. And, it takes time to recover and get back into the swing of things. It's amazing when guys in the NHL and all professional sports for that matter, they get injured and then they come back like that. It's like, that's not easy to do. There's a lot of preparation behind it.
Yeah. I think I let it take too much of a mental toll on me too. Like it was getting to a point where it was so frustrating. Like I didn't know what approach to take anymore really, because like I remember there was a game I was playing so well and I had to leave because I just felt like shit. Like I just like couldn't keep going. And it's like, that was stuff that was just so frustrating me. Like even now it pisses me off because like I felt so out of control, I guess. And, again, when I started to pick it up again, and then this happened. So it almost made me hungrier though to get back and get back into the swing of things. So.
Yeah, attaboy. I like it. That's what we like to hear. And the fortunate part is that you're on the younger side of your career. You're not the LeBron James or the Ovechkin for that matter, who's trying to chase down a record. And who knows, that might not happen now because we don't know how long sports are going to be gone for, right?
It's true.
Yeah, we're always glass half full kind of people here at the Athletes Podcast.
Yeah, no, that's right. Glass is always full if you include the air.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. There's the quote. All right, man. Well, really appreciate you coming on. Sort of the last question I always ask people, what kind of tips, tricks, advice would you give to maybe a younger goaltender who's going through, the drafts for all the junior organizations have just finished up now? What would be sort of your suggestions as far as maybe guys who didn't get drafted, did get drafted, and how they should approach their next couple of years in their hockey careers?
Yeah, I mean, I love talking about this kind of stuff. I've seen everything from, guys that get too high to guys that don't know where to go. And, I think you got to trust yourself more than anything. I know so many guys that didn't get drafted into the WHL that, for example, my old goalie partner, Connor Ingram, didn't get drafted in the WHL, makes the World Junior team 2 years later, posted a pretty ruthy story on his Insta of me the other day.
I saw it, actually. I was going to bring that up.
Yeah. I lost to him in the TELUS Cup regionals, and he decided to post it on his story. But
just rub some salt in the wound, eh?
Yeah. And he's a guy that just didn't let anyone tell him he couldn't. And he would admit it. He was a bigger guy in Kamloops. Like, he was a Husky. He knows it. And he just didn't let it affect him. He just kept going. And the guy is a great goalie, and he taught me a lot too. And I think you need to learn from the right people, but trust yourself too.
Yeah. Good tips and tricks from Dylan Ferguson of the Vegas Golden Knights organization. Really appreciate, again, you coming on, man. We'll have to keep doing this every once in a while, check in, see how you're doing, especially if quarantine keeps us trapped inside our rooms.
Oh, yeah, man. This is awesome. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, man. Anytime. Look forward to seeing you develop, and we'll keep in touch, man.
Yeah, we will. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Take it easy, man. Have a good one.
Yeah. See ya.